Okay. First order of business. Spending my primo gems on Nubilet. Opening the stream off really strong. No streamer lock. Oh, two Dionas! Okay. Streamer lock, please? No? Okay. Hi, Xingxiao. I guess I'm just not fated to have Nubilet price. Oh, it's not 10 yet. Archon Quest? Archon Quest. I should do the Archon Quest. But I'm so tired. I don't want to do the Archon Quest while using a controller. If I die, I die, I guess.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry! We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already!
In that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
Ooh, everything looks so good! People in Fontaine sure know how to enjoy life!
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
You, sure have your own way of doing things. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food. Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't know what they are really after.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking! We were so close to hearing who was behind it.
In such investigations, Even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability, it's just that a different perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough. Which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exist. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through, where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas.
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play, don't you think?
Could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed, then wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
That might work, but that's not really the problem.
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep. All right, no more joking around. Perhaps you could. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusation she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense. Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon would...
No, it's fine. We're just...
Alright.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so... normal. You know, like you.
Okay. As for
Hey, Navia! What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro...
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your... in any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya!
Wait, Fountain Plaza? Isn't that a bit far? I keep pressing the wrong buttons. Today's stream might be a little short. I might not finish this section of the Arcane Quest today.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneus might have been the last one.
Vache.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again? Ugh. That's kinda spooky.
Vache? Vache.
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty. Huh? Hang on. Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Who's Vache? Uh-oh. An Oceanid?
Vache, are you my dear Vache? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten?
You were once human?
Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who is lost, therefore. I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim. I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure.
Oh, she's an adventurer.
No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. But now...
Is Vache a dog?
We can no longer go back. The pain of such parting. I never knew how... No! Our reunion no longer has any meaning. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember. Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw... If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great... Is that what you call it? Dissolving. If any... It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety. I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you...
What? Why are we fighting the mechas?
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Clorand?
Ayo! She's so cool! Is she using Iron Sting?
Quick, now's our chance!
I'm so glad I'm streaming. I can rewatch this later. White line? Oh, it is white line. Floran, your shirt's buttons are about to pop off.
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Clorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, Demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Hello!
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand. But if you get any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
Floran's so cool!
Right. I
World
suppose
join
that's the
request.
best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, I just... She's...
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us! Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Chlorine who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that as such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you...
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger?
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed some?
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky.
Wait, do you mean that... Oh my god.
Fanta only comes in sweet flavors, so how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Yes, so if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Huh? Really?
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger and hurried here as quickly as I could.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too, aren't we?
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. She said that she... Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too! But it was real faint. Does
According to
this
Lynette,
situation have to do
the
with the
ability to
primordial
hear
seawater?
voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element.
Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel? While...
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that is important. Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened? Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate. Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our... We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll take that one step at a time, I guess.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
Where to now? I'm so quiet when playing Genshin. There's too much dialogue, and I don't want to talk over it. Though I guess I can. I did lower the game, like, volume to the point where, like, you can hear me even if I'm talking over someone.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
You can hum a tune or sing. Yes, like Genshin, my Genshin karaoke stream.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
Huh, very good. But
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, traveler.
Underground. Do I even remember lyrics for songs well enough to sing a full song without looking anything up? Doesn't have to be the lyrics of words, it could be whatever memorable tune is in your head. Sing a few random songs with your friends were around. Wait, did I?
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately.
Oh, there's a phrase that's in a song. You sing that song, you sing that phrase. Yeah, I do that sometimes. It's like, what do you call it? Kind of like a joke. There's not really anything for me to relate to songs right now, though.
After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people...
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago.
Your father... He was the
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to...
No, I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this top. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they caught 3 years ago. He was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor, instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena. 3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself. The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's That's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one. Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our...
Wait, if Callus was such a good man...
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... never mind. If Callus would...
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand.
Cloran killed her father?
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good? Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can...
Ms. Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Afterward, Ms. Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety. Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right, anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was... thanks.
Yeah.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure...
Say what you need. No problem is too big to solve.
Paimon's, huh? Navia?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off, but never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vacher.
Wait, so...
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon...
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem... I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vacher person is a key witness in the incident.
Does that mean we're too late, though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost... And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept. If the Oceanette you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we?
No, it's nothing.
Okay, time to go talk to Nouvellette. The stream was originally going to be titled Monsieur Nouvellette, piss 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 piss, but he never showed up. And I had a feeling he wasn't going to, so I changed the stream title to what it should be, which is me struggling with Genshin controls. Because for some reason I can never understand or like remember what controls are for what on while playing Genshin. With a controller, I mean. I thought your controller broken. Nah. It's more of like, Genshin. I don't play Genshin with a controller enough to get the hang of using a controller with Genshin. I would play it completely on PC with a mouse and keyboard if I could, because that's like what I'm most comfortable playing Genshin with. But problem is, my computer can't handle streaming and playing Genshin at the same time anymore. I don't know why. Like, I'll have encoding issues and then my frame rate will drop to ass frames per second. Wait, why am I climbing? Probably because I didn't even buy this, I stole it from my dad. Nothing I use is actually bought. Except for my iPad.
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
So I'm playing this from my iPad and then streaming it to my, screen sharing it to my laptop.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters. Huh. This place does look pretty heavily guarded.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rule.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Anyone can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago?
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can try.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Thanks so much.
What happens if we use the water from the Primordial Sea and Nouvellette? Knock on the door.
Please come in.
Oh, I can hear him! I can see him! It's him!
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not—
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse.
Mance looks so good.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
Mr. Otter.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Paimon, you're doubting me now? Paimon, really?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional.
And what are you trying to say? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just no. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead.
Okay, posture check.
The value of a human
Okay,
life
stretching.
is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
Can you, like, not, Navia? Oh, sorry, headpad's not working right now. I'm not using my life UD. Don't bonk me! I didn't do anything!
If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die?
Oh shit, she
Despised
crying.
and hated by all. Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to.
Here's the eye hydro
Really have no heart. Then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything.
Have you ever thought that he may be emotionally constipated, so it's hard for him to express things, Navia? Please.
Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Navia, can you not? Please. Please.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine.
No, you're not.
Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
That's how Noob expresses feelings. Yeah, Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there's something you didn't know at the time.
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? And then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. Oh, all right. Let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
We should go while the idea is still fresh. Okay.
Great. Let's go then.
I'm being teleported. Where am I? Where the fuck is this? Is that a huge bird? Poisson means fish in French. We're at fish. You know French? A little bit. Un petit peu. I can't speak it well though, so I sound like an Englishman trying to speak French.
Huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Oh, I can sing the song from Cinderella in French. What was it called again? So this is love? Yeah. C'est ça l'amour. Le grand amour. L'amour qui fait chanter la vie. La dans tes bras. Je sais déjà. And then I forgot the rest of the lyrics. I practiced it to sing it to one of my exes because I'm that kind of person. Sappy. Cheesy. It's not cheesy. I don't know, singing a love song to your partner sounds a little cheesy to me.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners.
Any effort for their loved one is great in my opinion. Ah.
You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you...
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You still remember, right, Malus? On that...
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call...
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson.
It kinda sappy though, but like that's kinda really cute. Sappy as hell, kid, but you're doing good. Actually, one time I tried to confess to someone when I was in high school through song. Like I tried to serenade them. It did not work. They did not find out that I was trying what I was trying to do. Like they just did not get it. Sag. So I had to play it off like I was just singing karaoke.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Most guys don't take hints that easily, especially out of the norm. Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions.
They're beating every time to take things the wrong way. I mean, it's more, what do you call it? A lot of it is also like the different. There's a kind of culture that's different between like growing up as a woman and growing up as a dude. Like your social circles react really differently to you. So I think that's why what women would consider hints would just like be overlooked by men. Or like what women consider direct would be overlooked by men. And what men consider to be like, oh, definitely, it's definitely a thing that like all women women don't usually do, can like actually it's more common than they think because they don't know. They don't know what actually happens in a group. You know, it's hard to explain. I'm not good at this topic. I have a lot of things to say, but I'm not good at saying them.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the...
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince... The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse.
Arena attack skill and burst are leaked. Oh, I'm gonna go look at that later.
That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food.
If Mihoyo's watching this, I do not support leaks. I was saying that in jest. For all intents and purposes, that was a joke.
But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the...
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing...
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired. You're right. We still don't know what happened.
Can I post a tweet in the Discord? Sure, just spoiler market. Content warning it, spoiler market, you know the drill.
Finally headed towards the truth.
So in case like someone doesn't want to see leaks, they won't see it.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still... Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to... Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victim.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already... But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, Demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety.
Yes, a rare illness, of course. We always see this in this type of story.
5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula, but as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the Unfaithful were still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of every... I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
Don't have a message anymore. Okay.
That fool. Couldn't he? No.
Oh, just crying
He might
again.
have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, but thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he
Miko,
really
Miko,
didn't need to give me an easy way out.
Hi, hi.
Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where Synth is produced. Essentially, when he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specific... But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still...
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
Something dropped in Genshin? You mean the anniversary rewards? Or something else? Oh, probably the new version drop, right? Yeah, new version just came out. I'm trying to play through the Archon quest, so the main storyline. So I can get to the new story that they put in. but I don't think I can get through all of them today. Because I only have like 30 minutes left, and this is going to take like 2 to 3 hours.
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves...
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Huh. That's true. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected—
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Maloose.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Maloose. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be... When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, the first is Florent, Spina de Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which, thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans. And there's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
What is this
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
Puzzle? I think he meant to say poisson. Poisson. Poisson?
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with
Welcome
quite
back!
regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
She didn't say the thing. I think
thank you,
everyone
Maloose.
is careful to not
You
say the
provided
thing
us
nowadays.
with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Oh, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth. And
Alice Cage's records. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Oh my god, there's a hydroculus near here. I don't know where it is though. I guess I'll go find it later. When I can actually play on PC on top. 5 foot away. Oh wait, give me a second, I got a call. That's the wrong thing. You didn't see that. No one saw that. Okay, wait. I'll come collect it later when I'm like looking for hydroculi so I don't have to mark it on my map. Victory's mating call. No! I have to go deal with delivery soon though.
It is settled then. Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Matches the tail wag energy but with different context. Look at Adele. She hates us.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened,
If it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of...
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of...
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less...
Would you mind sharing it with me?
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought...
Don't know any
more
Adele
was
songs, but insert
everything.
fun here. Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet.
So when Mr.
Or
Callis
something
came
like
to him
that.
with the
I don't remember the
proposal,
lyrics.
He accepted it almost
I only, like-
immediately.
I only remember the part where she goes, "Hello from the other side."
He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still...
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final fare. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do it?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good...
Yeah, Papa was a really good.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Oh,
Thank you for everything you've told me.
Thank you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination
Let me
when you
skip.
speak.
You really think so? That's the first time.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna do a little dog break. I don't think it'll be over 15 minutes, but if it is, sorry in advance. But I will leave this here for a bit and then go wait for delivery downstairs because the doorbell doesn't work up here. Little dog break. Nothing big. Twerk background. Okay, I'll put it on the twerking background. Nah, I'll leave it like this. You guys don't deserve to see me twerk. I'll be back!
I have to stifle a smile every time I remember the look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition. Yes, this was a fine idea. Everything's in place and they've taken the bait. Yes. Now to start reeling them in. I have to stifle a smile every time I remember the look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition. Yes, this was a fine idea. Everything's in place and they've taken the bait. Yes. Now to start reeling them in. I'm sure I've forgotten something. Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was. Ah. Everything's in place and they've taken the bait. Yes. Now to start reeling them in. Ah. I'm sure I've forgotten something. Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was. Ah. Everything's in place and they've taken the bait. Yes. Now to start reeling them in. Ah. I have to stifle a smile every time I remember the look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition. Yes, this was a fine idea.
Why did you say welcome back before I even came back? What? Maybe you can't speak for them though.
I'm sure I've forgotten something.
Okay.
Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was.
Where else do I have to go?
Are you okay, Navia?
Higher.
I'm fine.
How do I go
Don't
higher?
worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florence should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Found ya.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House? Someone...
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the...
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was right after my partner here put the dots together for me. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was... After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. And my first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene.
Uh-huh.
But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with... But hold on. If that's what had happened, then he didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then and if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Okay. Next up. How do I get up? Waypoint. Waypoint? Wait, it's been 30 minutes already since the last redeem? Crazy! Maybe I should do like an hour cooldown. Oh wait, it's all the way in the city. You walk your dogs for half the time. I guess. Oh, hi, Theory.
Hey, Thierry! It's me!
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself.
Oh, so you've caught news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two—
Yes. These two are What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into— If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have—
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha series.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching, if I had to make an analogy. When you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business—
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the— Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so—
Okay, so Theory probably didn't send a Gardamex after us. Probably. Probably. Have to walk. Don't forget Teapot. What about Teapot? Resin is that one. Do I look like I care about my resin anymore? I haven't played in over 2 weeks. Yeah, Floaty Squid. It came with the anniversary. Don't know. But yeah, I mean, I haven't played Genshin on stream in a really long time, which also means I haven't played Genshin in general. Wait, I'm going the wrong direction. I can read maps, totally. Where the heck?
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say, sure. I will let him know, right?
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are—
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House.
Yes, I've never seen it.
Oh, you were at the Opera House.
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into— I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves—
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, if anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, the Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Gunshot? There was 2 gunshots.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll
Sounds good. Just let me know if all my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend—
This guy sus.
This can work. I'll just treat them as new samples.
Oh no, I can't stop shaking my legs. Well, that worked. I didn't even have to climb all the way to the top.
Purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed— Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what—
But where should we start? You're right! Flora mentioned that.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family—
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Could he guarantee his safety after killing Callus? Could he guarantee his family's safety after killing Callus?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection from my father. Makes sense. But without evidence, that's— Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite— It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since... but who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Marcel, because he has money!
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a... And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business? Florent? It is true that he would... But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security. So you're saying he's too broke to afford a... Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to
Damn, I got it all wrong.
You say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to but I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, if the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Who could it be?
I think... Oh boy! It's time to Miles Edgeworth investigations this thing.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Oh, I was right. It was Marcel. You asshole, you made me doubt myself.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these 3, did he?
The sussiest of Bacchus.
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the 3, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight.
What if the person behind it all is Malus? Possible? I think so.
Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we need far more solid proof.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did some...
You just came from the Irenaeus after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials?
The person they're putting on trial is a Patui Harbinger called Tartaglia! Child!
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
He's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right, because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah. Wait, why is the word yeah the only thing that's voiced? What happened to the rest? And it'll be a lot harder to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Well, partner?
Let's split up.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean?
You go to Arenius while I go investigate that place. I'm confident about my combat abilities.
Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Arenius, leaving him. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the— I won't have any chance of making that charge stick though, unless we find more evidence.
Leave it to me.
We'll help you, just like you.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver, when did you—
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured it's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with a...
Thank you.
See you then!
I miss playing Miles Edgeworth Investigations. Maybe I should play that on stream one day. No, but I don't have the actual game anymore. I'll have to play on an emulator. And if you play, I remember you can only play on an emulator on Twitch if you have all of the components of the actual thing. I don't have the components anymore. So I can't, because it's technically illegal since I don't own it no more. But I can play the Ace Attorney trilogy. Maybe we can marathon the Ace Attorney trilogy. Don't know how long they'll take us though. Maybe the entire night. Entire night for you, entire day for me. I don't think that's a good idea either. Verb. All in one go, that's quite ambitious.
Huh. According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater.
Oh my
Let's go
god.
and try to find the entrance.
Is it possible to even play the first game all in one go? Like, a game per day? 3 days total? I'll look it up. I'll look up how long it takes to beat Ace Attorney. No, there's a Hydroculus on the entrance. I need to avoid it.
Finally found it. Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem out of
18 hours. Y'all want to do an 18-hour stream? I'm probably not gonna 100% it, but y'all want to do an 18-hour stream?
You're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms. Navia's probably arguing.
Meanwhile, inside the Opera Epiclese. Oh my god. Am I Navia?
It would appear
Oh,
that
no.
I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right? In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
8-hour nap 3 times in one day. Hold up. What? Child, can you like not try to get convicted just because you wanna fight, you battle horny idiot?
When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine...
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got...
Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default, correct?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who...
That person is...
Oh boy!
Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières!
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Ro...
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Friends to enemies type of situation, girl! Okay, have a good night.
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you...
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial. Mr. Marcel, you will not...
Apologies. It all just happened. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of... Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the...
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who... Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember, both you and I only ran... If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm...
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's...
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques... in truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from... Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, however, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the...
Something's not right. There we go.
A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. Something... This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead.
Also not carry a gun with him when he went out. Oh, okay.
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end, he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and had sent out another assassin. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
Successful refutation. Nice.
That's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home.
Bruh, shut up.
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callis explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least—
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of this. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right.
Oh, okay, I'll hydrate.
But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retain the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the but since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the
so, during the duel...
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callis never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your...
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of...
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are, in my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callis. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized the culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing... I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most...
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your... But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel... Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, demoiselle. This...
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he...
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anger?
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
Wait, if Navia is going to be convicted for falsely accusing someone, can't we convict Farina for falsely accusing someone the last trial? I don't see anything happening to Farina just because she convicted someone. Just because she falsely accused someone. Like, double standards, man.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most...
This isn't just about me. And the biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth. While that same age, the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of...
I was waiting for you to say that.
A little while earlier at the entrance of the synth production base. Oh boy! It's a party setup thing. How do I...
You're toast!
As one with wind and cloud!
Cascade!
The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
Hello, Eyes! How are you today?
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Oh dear. How do I get up? I have a lot of work that should be done by tomorrow, so oh my god. I hope you get them done quickly. Wait, how do I grab the thing? What thing? Oh, crab! I didn't see. Wait, how do I use crab again? There we go. Oh my god. Water level?
The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top. But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Be still.
Oh my god, more? Owie, ow, 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 ow.
Cascade.
Excuse me? Where?
Now the path is clear. Let's go.
Oh, cool. It's not gonna break while I run on it, right? Oh boy.
Everybody stand back!
The wind knows me. Be still. Cascade.
problem.
Oh.
Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here.
If I'm not mistaken, he's being charged by Navi as we speak.
That's right.
Look for clues.
Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the synth. And that's special. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence.
Primordial sea water pool. Gotcha. Okay. Stretching.
What's all this?
Oh wow, I hurt my back.
It's a bunch of really cute things.
My posture is still good.
Pink
Thanks for the redeems.
A hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different girls' names? Huh? You mean the girls from... And then they were turned... And all the boxes of things. These names.
Missing people possessions. Okay, cool. Next.
What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22... Sorry, traveler. Paimon will try her best. How can someone write something that terrible and let you read the rest? Paimon's too scared to keep going.
The goal of the researcher is to save his lover, a woman called Vignier, who was dissolved.
So that's why he did all of these experiments. Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane!
There's another name here, Vache.
Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
He's the researcher!
You mean Vache is the one who did all of these...
He signed off on a bunch of the experiment reports. The voice I heard from the fountain was probably Vignier.
So that's it! Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover... No, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water? In any case...
Okay, what else?
Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea. Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock synth? Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth?
That definitely proved that this was where they produced the sin.
Yep, it's super...
What else?
Let's see what's written here. Nothing... Callus. Navia's father. Oh,
It's probably related to his and Jack's case. Finding someone to assassinate Jackson Callus because lack of confidence that Jax himself would go through with it.
This should prove the existence of the third person, right?
Is there anything else?
We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organization. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to... I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't... Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups.
They planned this well in advance.
We've looked at almost everything here, and it's... Yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals... No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing.
Look for clues related to Vacher. We already did that.
You take that side, and Paimon will take this side.
And then Paimon screams. Oh, no? Okay. Was that your stomach? No? I didn't hear anything. Was it your stomach?
Really? Let Paimon see. Vinier. Isn't that Vacher's lover's name?
You said an hour ago. I see.
Then you found it. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story.
She made a list of baby names.
So many! A whole page's worth! But the final name she decided... Marcel!
It's his dad! Vacher is your dad?
Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vacher and Vinier's grown son?
No, Vacher took on a new name.
Hey! Paimon...
Because... Wait, but Vacher is also not a Snezhnayan name. Marcel is also not a Snezhnayan name. I don't understand.
Image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so
I've merely...
I was waiting.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
It's all right, Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
You say you've never heard of Vacher. But... But Vachet's heard of you!
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Oh my god, she speaks! Traveler speaks!
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you! You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher!
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes?
Oh my god, he's admitting it! He's admitting to it!
No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too... You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes. But I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved. No matter what I do.
Damn, look at him cry! Wait, he's gonna kill himself?!
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go, I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to say Vignier. Please, Vignier. Don't think...
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and
Wait.
summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case.
If Child wasn't convicted here, then why was he in the Fortress of Mirapede later?
The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignier. During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'un guilty.
Guards! Take...
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such—
Yippee! We helped! He's hurt so many... Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were
The day our late boss had always hoped.
Yeah.
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend.
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? No.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand...
Oh, and then he gets...
Through evidence presented in the public trial that the guilty party has been identified, we now turn to the Oratrice
And then the Oratrice makes him guilty?
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique, guilty.
What? But child did nothing!
What?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
But
water has been
about
consumed.
the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
What? Uh-oh, child. Child, no! And he doesn't have his vision on him.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
Wait, but child has to lose because he's going to prison. How did he lose? Oh, is he using power from the abyss again? Oh boy. Wait, what?
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Holy, Novelette is that much more powerful than Child? Novelette! I want him! I want him so bad!
Hey, Monsieur Novelette, what's going on? Shouldn't they have been cleared already?
Human visions can't be used in the court. That was his raw power? I mean, Novelette doesn't even have a vision on him. Like, you can't find it anywhere on him.
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I I don't know what happened there either.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict? Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the oratrice.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my and of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely all shall be revealed in time.
Serial
You will
disappearance.
come to understand
Not my lucky
noble
charms.
intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the oratrice.
Oh my god, my frosted flakes!
Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense,
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
Alright. Even though we feel. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So he.
I mean, to be fair, he should have gone to prison for trying to kill all of Liyue. I know that.
Oh, Monsieur Neuvillette! That power you showed when you took him down.
I'm the Chief Justice of Fontaine, of course. If officers of the law lack the strength and capability to enforce it...
Okay, Neuvillette. Leave the opera house. How? Haha, bye, Marcel.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him! Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add— No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vacher? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
Paimon agrees.
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs?
Humans. Yes, we get it. You're not a human, sir.
Very well. I will grant your request.
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
In that case...
Thank you.
Fountain of Lucine.
this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Back then, I drank water from Primordial Sea, heightened my sensitivity to the Hydro element.
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that.
Vache!
Ah!
Yes, that's it! So you heard it.
Vinier, it's me! It's me, Vache!
Vache? Vache!
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you?
Hey, wait!
Uh-oh.
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache!
Vache? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. All this time. Only the thought of bringing you back has kept me. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought? Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you. If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day.
Huh?
If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks.
Oh, is she talking as the victims? The other victims?
It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all—
You... Wait, you are not Vinier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vinier. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals, but we became one. Just as I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vinier.
Why? But then, where is Vinier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would— You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a coward. The only thing you are not is Vinier's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vinier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
No! Vinier!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vinier. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Whoa! That's so good! RIP, I guess! Later, the guards find the culprit of the two young women. Myself, fear death lost his soul! Whoa! Several days later.
we've been able to relax.
Huh. Well met, partner.
Even this weather can't put a damper on.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia!
Oh. It's just been one thing after. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court, all attended.
So his name's definitely been cleared now. That's what we...
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness, Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So she was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always...
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Now that's another thing to look for.
Oh, and in other news...
Oh, are you two...
While you were investigating Vaché's headquarters, Clorinde gave testimony on my father's behalf. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean...
Oh, that's great!
Anyway, now that the case is fine... Oh, actually...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave. And tell him... And on top of that... just how much people still look up to him. To this day.
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
Can I come too? Why would we go though?
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me. After all...
And in that case, everyone...
Yeah, you're right.
It's been raining non-stop for a few days now. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Huh. This is where my father's grave is.
Huh? There's someone there.
Novelette!
Novelette? Why would the Chief Justice be here?
Maybe he's peeing. No! Don't pee on her father's grave!
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying... I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, there was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important than their own lives. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day. Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated to him. And in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all a justice that's higher than life itself. So you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. I should have noticed all of this. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days.
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
That high
Don't
and
cry,
mighty chair in the
Novilla!
Opera Epicles indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh? That reminds—
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say—
Ah, so Navia and Nova... Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait. Paimon's never paid... Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. Oh, no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia will... Anyway, Nervalette is still standing around there. It's not often...
Oh, it stopped raining though.
Oh, it's you two.
We ran into Navia.
I see, I see.
Well...
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be...
About water from the primordial tea, about child, about my sibling. This one.
Your sibling. Another blonde-haired traveler. I'm sorry. If he ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure he followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the Opera Epicles. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Okay, we'll ask everything.
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh. So it really was where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine...
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Lenny that told us back then.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon?
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels, and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant, and stay on the watch for further signs. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is, can we really trust her to solve it?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
About child.
My apologies. My investigation has... However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
Huh? But you
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness. Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
Huh. So when Lenny told us that he heard a human
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede. If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed by the law.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
I have no more questions. I've been forced to ask everything.
It was my honor to provide you with
the illusion of free will.
I very much enjoyed conversing with you. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind and return to...
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as well. This is...
All right. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
The Hydro Dragon stopped crying! Oh, whoops.
We've been walking around for a while now. Why don't we go back to the Spina di Rosula base in the Court of Fontaine and have a rest? Navia said something about having a place ready for us there, didn't she? Come on, let's go!
Okay. That's gonna be it for today. Thank you for keeping me company. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with probably a visual novel. I feel like playing Sucker for Love. I was going to play it in October, but I think it's better if I play Spooktober games in October to keep with the theme. Anyways, goodbye!